Recovery supportive workplace. Are you familiar with that term? If not, it's pretty easy to define. It's a workplace whose culture and operations reflect an understanding of substance use disorder, addiction, and work to motivate and support employees in recovery. Simple concept, right? Well, while the idea seems straightforward, understanding the benefits and logistics of a recovery supportive workplace may warrant some additional conversation. Let's just put it out there. The thought of hiring and retaining a person with a history of alcohol or other drug issues who's in recovery may bubble up feelings of concern and apprehension. For decades, we've believed that substance use disorder, addiction, was caused by a defect in moral character, and people with the disease, including those in recovery, have been treated as weak, lazy, irresponsible, and, truthfully, an employment risk. But because of scientific advancements like brain imaging technology, we now know that substance use disorder is a brain disease that is preventable and treatable, similar to other behavior-related chronic diseases like heart disease and type 2 diabetes. The key difference is that this disorder is surrounded by stigma, and reducing or eliminating stigma requires undoing decades of mental programming, which can be tough. It takes exposure to education, research, and dialogue to truly accept and adopt this new understanding of addiction as a medical issue. At the same time, symptoms of the disease, like working or driving under the influence, are scary and dangerous. So it's no wonder some employers have concerns about safety, liability, and productivity, and concerns about employees in recovery having a setback, a relapse. But treatment works if it is based on proven methods and matched to the unique needs of the individual. It's important to remember, though, that like other diseases, substance use disorder must be managed over a lifetime. And sometimes relapse does occur, which typically means treatment needs to be adjusted. But did you know that relapse rates for substance use disorder are about the same as for high blood pressure? And having a job actually improves the chances of staying in recovery because the individual has a sense of purpose and contribution and a support system. What's more, a recovery supportive work environment can actually help to prevent a setback. And it's not just the employee that benefits from a supportive workplace. Employers who offer second chances benefit too. Research shows that employees in recovery have lower turnover, absenteeism, and healthcare costs than the general workforce. On top of that, terminating an employee instead of offering assistance can be expensive, costing an employer an estimated 25% to 200% of an employee's annual compensation to replace them, not to mention the loss of all that knowledge and experience. Before highlighting some things employers can do to create and sustain a recovery supportive workplace, it's important to acknowledge that there are some laws and authorities, like DOT and ADA, that stipulate what an employer must do in relation to an employee in recovery. So it's prudent to seek legal counsel to address all issues of accommodation, especially as they relate to your policy and practices related to handling medical conditions. So once you understand what you might have to do, how do you responsibly create and sustain a recovery supportive workplace? A comprehensive, best practice drug-free workplace program is the foundation. That means a written policy and procedures, annual employee education and supervisor training, drug testing, and a plan to assist employees who need it. Beyond having a best practice drug-free workplace program, here are 7 ideas for ways employers can support employees in recovery. Number 1. Employers should encourage employees in recovery to be upfront and honest if they feel their recovery is in danger, just as they would encourage an employee recovering from a heart attack to speak up if their symptoms returned. Number 2, employees may need time off for ongoing support or treatment. Think through your sick time, paid time off, leave without pay, or flex time policies. Number 3, keep lines of communication open with employees and their counselors. Number 4, hold employees accountable to your usual work standards and also consider whether temporary accommodations are needed, again, just as you would for an employee beginning treatment for another medical condition. Number 5, do follow-up testing as recommended by a counselor or directed by your drug-free workplace policy. Number 6, provide supervisors quality drug-free workplace training so that they are equipped to handle situations appropriately. And number 7, encourage work-life balance and overall wellness to minimize stress, which can trigger a setback. Again, our understanding of substance use disorder may be slow to change despite scientific evidence, but exposure to education and research will increase awareness and knowledge. Here are some resources to get you started as you commit to learning more about substance use disorder and recovery supportive workplaces. Have more questions? We're here to help as always.